What are you willing to do to achieve the goal of your lifetime? Jump until you drop? Endure the heat? Bring gifts to a scary monster, or even dance with death? All of the above works if you live in the wild, and you'll do anything to carry on your lineage. This is a young lion couple. Once alone, they can mate up to 100 times a day. Yes, you heard it right, 100 times a day for several days straight. Of course, they don't do it that often all the time. Sometimes, for example, they can agree to 50 times a day. The process lasts only a few seconds, but these few seconds are repeated over and over and over again every 20 to 30 minutes. No, I get it. Producing as much offspring as possible is the desire of any animal. But poor lions, imagine you just want to relax a bit, savor antelope meat. But no, it's mating time again.
No.
Actually, scientists believe that just being a lion is not enough to get so much attention from lionesses. Animals also have their own criteria for attractiveness, and the lion needs to stand out. You probably know what attracts lionesses. They check out the mane. Animals with longer, darker manes are more mature, have higher testosterone levels, have access to better food, and zero injuries. In short, they're real machos of the wildlife. Other males stay away from such lions, while females, on the contrary, try to get closer. If you grew up with a cool mane, you can consider your life pretty good. Well, there are some problems, though. Manes, especially long and dark ones, are the main source of heat. That is a real liability when you live in the middle of a hot savanna. Scientists have even established that the mane becomes shorter and lighter in warmer seasons. This suggests it really exposes the owner to additional heat. And if you're a macho lion, then most likely you'll be very hot, in the literal sense of the word. In general, the size of the mane can't be controlled. And here's a good example for you. 5 lionesses in Botswana just grew manes. Yes, lionesses. They even began to show male-like behavior. They roared louder, marked their territory more actively, and even tried to mount other females who didn't have manes. Turned out the reason was high testosterone levels. And again, you can't control it with the power of thought. Though actually, I think the lions are lucky. Having a pride means they don't have to bother about any pickup strategies. Many other animals have to put effort into that. Steve and I found 3 basic courtship rituals in the animal kingdom. So where's that website? Okay, here it is. I don't get it. Oh, come on, it crashed again? Okay, well, thanks humanity for inventing the VPN. I can't imagine how we'd work without it. Because, when you search for interesting information, you often have to go to hard-to-reach areas of the internet. Sometimes you can't get access to certain data because of your geography. And sometimes we create videos on the road using public Wi-Fi. Without a good VPN, this would be simply impossible. There are many VPN services these days, but we use Surfshark VPN to bypass blocking. It not only gives access to many sites and even apps, but also provides security by encrypting data, essentially making it impossible to intercept. It'd be a pity if someone stole Steve's finished script, not to mention bank details and other important things. If you, like me, are concerned about safety and freedom on the internet, you'll find a great offer at the link in the description. Follow it and get an 83% discount and 3 months of free use. Oh, and by the way, Surfshark VPN offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it for some reason, you can get your money back. As for me, I'll go dig up some data while my subscription hasn't expired yet. So, there are 3 main courtship rituals that are used in the animal kingdom. The first and most obvious one is giving gifts. If someone knows a way with gifts, these are spiders of the Passera mirabilis species. Their males are stronger than females, but if they even try to hint at mating without some token of appreciation, they'll be eaten. This is not a joke. The researchers found that male spiders without gifts were 6 times more likely to end up as the female spider's dinner before mating. And this happened regardless of whether the female was hungry or not. I mentioned hunger for a reason, because males bring insects carefully wrapped in a silk web to females. Passera mirabilis love neatly wrapped gifts. While the female's busy unpacking the offering, the male does its job. Well, it can still be eaten after mating, but there's nothing to complain about from the evolutionary standpoint. Wait. Some of you are already feeling sorry for the poor spiders which can be devoured by their lovers. But the males of the Pisora mirabilis are actually tricky con artists. Why bother finding a real gift when you can use a cheap fake? Some cunning males wrap the leftovers of their dinner, inedible parts of insects, plant seeds, and other stuff in a web. The idea is quite simple: winning enough time to mate before the female realizes that she was duped. And according to some reports, almost 70% of spiders bring worthless gifts to their beloved. On the other hand, penguins would never do such a thing, perhaps because their romantic gift of choice is a stone. You have to admit, it's quite difficult to make a fake stone, especially if you're a penguin. But in general, beautiful pebbles are very much appreciated among Gentoo and Adelie penguins. The former look for a suitable stone and then carry it in their beak to their chosen ones. If the female likes the offering, she takes the gift and uses it for building a nest. Well, and then we have a happy ending here. The Adelie penguins went one step further and came up with an idea to steal stones. See for yourself. Building a good nest in harsh conditions is not an easy task, so some penguins choose the dark side and the path of crime. They wait for their neighbors to leave and quickly drag the stones from their nest. Well, these animals have no concept of honesty. Okay, next we have dancing. Maratus volan spiders know exactly how important it is for females to have a mate with good dancing skills. Because if the male doesn't light up the dance floor, he will be eaten. Yes, it's as simple as that. And it goes according to the same scenario. A small male has to give it all to impress the female. It vibrates his abdomen, unfolds the side flaps, raises his legs, and sways from side to side. If that's not enough, the female attacks, but the really stubborn males dodge and start dancing twice as intense. They use more complex moves, the belly vibrates differently, they try the best they can. Best case scenario, the female gives up and allows the male to mate. Less lucky males get eaten afterwards. But spiders are basically pretty straightforward creatures. They need food to procreate. So why search for it when the food came to you by itself? Unlike dances performed by alligators. What, you didn't know these creatures dance to attract females? It's probably because it doesn't look like a dance at all. More like an attempt to scare all living things within a mile radius. The fact is that alligators can emit low-pitched bellows. This is how they tell the world they've grown damn big. Well, it's also a hint to females about their cool genes, which would be nice to pass on to offspring. But when a really big alligator bellows, it dives into the water and it starts to bounce off its back. Yes, the sound is that strong. The alligator kind of vibrates, creating what's called the water dance. And since we're talking about using voice during the courtship, the third mating ritual is, of course, songs. A lot of species like to attract females by singing, but it seems to me that whales do it best. Just listen to this. Whales generally rely often on sound, since sight and smell are not so great for communication if there's an ocean around you. Sound travels 4 times faster in water than in air. Whales take advantage of this by singing beautiful, complex songs during mating season to impress their mates. Scientists have even found out that the longest song of a humpback whale lasts 20 hours. Well, if this doesn't impress the lady, I don't know what will. By the way, today we know that the singing of whales is based on certain grammatical rules. They even have a sort of syntax that allows them to combine sounds and phrases into melodies that bear messages. No, whale songs have nothing to do with human language, and we can't decipher them, at least for now. But don't let that discourage you. Even the animals themselves need time to learn the necessary songs. Take at least birds. They definitely know how to attract females with their singing. And not only females, if you think about it. Come on, everyone likes to listen to bird songs. Some birds can remember and add new tracks to their list throughout their lives, and some sing only the songs they learned in childhood. The environment is an important factor here. A study made back in the 1950s showed finches grown in a lab develop abnormal songs.
Go, 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 shorty, it's your birthday.
It's like they don't even know what it's like to, well, be finches. If the lab birds got exposed to the songs of their wild kin, their repertoire became normal, and it would probably work when wooing females. But you know, I've listed the main courtship rituals in the wild. Meanwhile, there are animals who don't really care about all this nonsense with dances, songs, and gifts. They cope on their own. And I'm not talking about primitive organisms. In the Reef Headquarters Aquarium, Leonie the zebra shark laid eggs that produced 3 baby sharks. At the same time, she'd not been in contact with males for 4 years. No, Leonie didn't have a stash with the substance necessary for reproduction. The babies were hers, and hers alone. Scientists have carefully checked that, and were very surprised because no one had ever heard of parthenogenesis in such sharks before. Parthenogenesis is an asexual reproduction when the female produces offspring on her own. She wants the kids, she makes them. Quite convenient. The ability to reproduce like that allows animals to pass on their genes without wasting energy looking for a mate. If we describe this process in layman's terms, the female sort of mixes her genes, creating almost carbon copies of herself. Actually, there are quite a few different nuances and subtleties. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll make a video about asexual reproduction. Because there really is something to talk about. For example, if a female Komodo dragon were stranded on a desert island, she alone would be able to create a population simply through parthenogenesis. Well, it'd certainly be an unusual population, but that's a story for another time. See you later.